Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mayfly Disc Golf. My name is Andrew, here with Mr. Randy May.
How you doing?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
Great.
So we're going to be covering some coverage from Eldon Lyon Park in Bethany, Oklahoma. This is going to be the first front nine. Check out the back nine later.
Here we go. We got a hole 195 feet, par 3. Some people try to go up the middle, but I try to go a little ante around the trees and come back into the basket. But it's a tough shot.
Yeah, it seems like the kind of the easiest and simplest shot is to do kind of a big hyzer up and around. I'm guessing the most difficult portion is just making sure you get the height right.
Yeah. Taylor getting ready to throw a big hyzer here. Makes a really good shot. I think it's parked. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great shot.
And then mine was a little bit closer, but we got some construction going on there. They put up a little wall, but that's not OB.
Excellent. That was actually going to be my next question. All right. Well, coming up on hole 2 here, tell us about it.
It's par 3, 267 feet. I like to play it straight down the middle and then get over to the basket. But Taylor likes to throw a big hyzer out in the street and have it come back in. So
Yeah,
we'll see
I
how it
could
plays out.
I could see how a skip play off the side of the road actually might get you a little bit of extra distance, but I'm sure with you both being, predominantly backhand players, in my case, I think it would be easier to throw a forehand straight down the middle, but I'm sure you have to get a little bit more creative as a backhand player.
Yeah, I don't have a forehand, so all I got. Okay, here goes my up shot. Pretty good. I parked it right next to the basket.
Yeah, really kind of set yourself up with that ground play, putting it on a bit of a hyzer and letting it kind of skip up and bounce up near the basket.
Yeah, so we'll both take pars on this hole, which is fine.
And really, that's not a bad bid from Taylor. I mean, just a little off to the right there.
Yeah. Makes life easy when you got a good upshot.
Yes, it does.
That was his interpretation of raptor legs.
All right.
Hole 3, 198 feet, straight up through the middle on the trees. And I don't know, the best way for me to get up there is just kind of throw a straight shot to that basket.
Yeah. Now, I know that there's obviously a lot of trees and stuff out there. So how high is the lowest branch there? I mean, how
Oh,
much
you've got
space
about
do
a
you have?
25, 30-foot ceiling.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. It's been a while since you've played this course, hasn't it?
Yes, it has. And when I was playing it, it was had a little bit more greenery around those trees, made it a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, yeah, I kind of hyzered out here, but I'll get a good upshot and hopefully and just take a par and go on down the road.
Yeah. Yeah, it seemed like you were just slightly out of position, but really didn't seem too bad. You must have gotten a pretty big skip off the tee.
Yes. Well, I was throwing a wave, so they
Oh,
like to
man.
skip.
That was a great bid from Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely a kind of a missed putt there.
Yeah,
Now, my experience in the past with these baskets, these chains just are not very friendly to disc. They kind of
no, they're
have a
not
bad,
sticky.
yeah.
So coming up here, we've got hole 4. It's 262 feet. Um, Taylor likes to go down the middle, and you'll kind of see me switch disc, I think. And I like to kind of throw a big hyzer around those trees because I can't make such a straight shot like that. Okay, and he's showing off his 5-time Paul Macbeth first edition buzz there. That I can't believe he plays with.
Feels like it should be in a case up on a wall, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can kind of see how there's kind of two different paths that they've laid out. There's the one, just straight through, just straight down the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And then I could see how a kind of a skip hyzer play actually.
Yeah, you can see I pulled out my buzz and it was like, no, that's not how I play this hole. So,
yeah, I probably want something
with my trusty wave.
Yeah. Yeah, you probably want something with a little bit of an edge on it so you can get that good big skip.
Yeah, that was
that was a great skip. That was perfectly played.
So Taylor was a little out of position here, but
was he about 70 from the basket? 60?
Oh no, probably about 40. But he, it's an easy upshot to take your par.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I got pretty parked there.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a birdie on that one.
And Brandy, what do you putt with?
There's my raptor legs. Oh, it's a Tennessee edition zone.
That's interesting for a player to putt with the zone. Most of the time zones are used as approach disc. So
I could putt with a brick and get the same result. So. Okay, hole 5, par 3, 377. 2 ways to play this, I think, is one just straight up the middle, which is really hard. I've torn up a lot of those trees, but I kind of started going and taking doing an anhyzer.
Oh, I see.
Or sometimes I'll get a roller and go through there and have pretty good luck getting to the basket. But I have no luck going down the middle.
Yeah, if you're just playing for the par, there's really no reason to throw some big massive throw down the middle. I mean, I think the safe play is definitely, throwing something through that bigger gap or throwing a really slow, maybe even a putter drive just down the middle, get it, 150, 160 feet up there, just till you're in that open fairway.
Yeah, I have still had a pretty good upshot to get to the basket, but you'll probably notice in this video, I've kind of gone to this compass that I throw for probably most of my upshots now. Just trying to get used to one certain disc for my upshots. Unless I need to do a little backhand or something, a little forehand.
Yeah. Well, that was a great little sidearm from Taylor, but it seems like it was a bit short.
Yeah, a little bit. So there's the wind that we were dealing with today. I know you're familiar with that flag there in Bethany, Oklahoma.
God bless America.
Yeah, it's but it wasn't too windy that you did not want to play.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and around March time, it's, the wind can either be ripping at, 16 to 20 miles an hour, and then some days you get 8 to 10.
Yeah. So he got his par out of that. He got close enough.
Yeah, decent par. I mean, from, being out of position and leaving that approach shot short, he really did have wasn't necessarily an easy par.
No, it's a good par to get. So hole 6 is really interesting because it sits up on a hill, and my play is keep it in the fairway down the center, which I can rarely do. But it's hard to get to.
Yeah, I can imagine, especially, with the disc, if you're throwing a high-speed driver, you're trying to make sure that you can get crested up on that hill, but if that disc
Taylor likes to take the big hyzer around shot, but
and that's got to be tough. Yeah, I feel like those trees are a little bit too high, and if you don't anticipate how high those branches can get, it can definitely mess up your shot.
So I'm throwing a buzz there. and it
And
was
I
looking
think
pretty
that's,
good. Then fortunate it hit that tree, or it would have really gone off to the left.
yeah. And I think, like I said, I think unless you're getting a lot of power behind your disc, I mean, trying to crest it up on top of that hill before the disc finishes fading, and it's just difficult.
Yeah, this was an interesting approach to the basket.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you can tell that the wind was blowing from the right to the left right there, and it caught his disc and took off. And now I'm trying to find out how I'm going to get around this branch to get an upshot.
Yeah, and again, just as a dominant backhand player, I'm sure it's not as easy just trying to pitch up a forehand and get it up on top of that hill.
I appreciate you calling me a dominant player.
Look at that. Not a bad forehand.
Yeah, that's about all I got. That's the only play that I had on that. So Taylor's going to see, and this, as you know, this hill is a big rollaway hill. If you're not careful, you're going to be 100 feet down below it.
Oh yeah. Wow. Almost hit the basket. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, that was impressive. Yeah, I mean, unless you're playing with a really sticky disc, you got to be really careful on this hill because otherwise you're rolling straight down to the bottom and giving yourself a.
And I threw a terrible putt there, and luckily it didn't roll down the hill.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go up there and just throw it in and get out of there.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Those uphill putts can just kind of get away from you. The height difference, especially with the winds kind of ripping.
Did you see the wind blow that right there?
Oh, man. Oh, man.
He's looking at me like, I can't believe that happened.
And that's what
But-
happens, folks.
Yeah, but I think he's going to make a comeback putt here. So,
Yeah, and that's a great comeback putt.
I would have been kind of nervous. I might have laid up.
Yeah, absolutely.
So hole 7 is another on top of the hill hole, 170 feet. I think it plays more like about 200 and something. But many ways to get there. But again, you can get rollways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think, with the shot being so open, I feel like, you kind of let your imagination run with what kind of shot you want to throw off the tee, but it's a matter of figuring out that height on that hill. Just
Yeah,
kind
I
of
went
plays
with
tricks
something
with
real
you.
stable there because of the wind. Remember going right to left across
Yeah.
this hill? I wanted that thing to get up there and dive down, and I got pretty close to the basket.
And I
Now,
can
Taylor is throwing his putter.
Yeah, and that's
of
what I
course, he can throw it a mile.
And that's pretty I mean, wow, he was
So
well
he's got all
past the
that wind to
bounds.
his back right now. What do you think he's going to do? The smart thing.
Wow.
Yeah, he didn't want to take a chance on that. So I'm putting in a headwind. And so I decided I'm not going to use my zone. I'm going to go get my compass out that's a little bit heavier,
Yeah.
hoping that will get me in the basket. And it did. No birdie.
Yeah, a heavier disc like that, it's gonna definitely do a little bit better in the headwind. I mean, you're having to putt it a little bit harder than you would normally, but
Mhm.
that is a much better plan.
And that's kind of the issue that I have playing in the wind. I don't mind it, but as you know, I use pretty light discs. And so hole 8 is a fun one when you're on top of this hill and you got that basket down there on the left of that tree. And many ways to get to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Two best ways definitely is just a straight forehand, put it a little bit to the right and then let it fade left. Otherwise, or playing a backhand just like this and letting it hook around that tree.
Yeah. And of course, I'm throwing a wave there again, and turned out pretty good.
Yeah, it seemed like it stabled out pretty quickly and kind of stayed straight in the air for a while. How far are you from the pin?
I don't remember, maybe about 15 or 20.
Now, is Taylor throwing a putter again?
Yes, he's throwing a putter again.
Wow. You know, but the thing is, with as high as you are up on that hill and down to that basket, I mean, it's going to play, you know, way less distance than throwing straight or throwing uphill.
Right. So there's his bid and hits the chains, and of course those terrible baskets didn't want to grab it.
It's just horrible. I mean, those baskets they just don't do you any justice.
No. So yeah, I'm looking at about 20 there, and kind of touched the chains. I know. It was pretty heartbreaking because I'm down a stroke or two on Taylor, so I was hoping to get one on him.
That's about the same distance, right?
Yeah, but I didn't make my comeback putt, so.
Yeah, and that was a great putt back. Great putt with that compass.
This is a hard one for Taylor right there, but I'm going to put it in.
He should be proud of that par. That's a good par. Yeah. Especially throwing a putter off the tee.
So this next hole, hole 9, par 3, 271, you've thrown it 100 times, Andrew. What do you think?
You know, my play on this hole has always been just a nice forehand, let it flip up, straighten out, and then let it finish to the right. It's the safest, it's the easiest play. Obviously with the backhand, you want to do something just like what Taylor did there.
Yeah, that was a nice shot with his 5-time first edition.
Yeah. You know, if you can throw those, you know, Anheuser's pretty consistently and just let that disc ride on the Anheuser and let it finish out, and then, you know, it's not a bad play. With those trees there to the right, it just makes it difficult to throw a more just your standard backhand throw.
Yeah. And that was not such a great throw from me. Almost went out of bounds. So I stepped it off, and
yeah, that is a good amount of luck there.
You know, we were talking during the round about there's no signs, so there's no OB mark. So what is OB? But we just assumed the sidewalk was OB.
And that's probably a fair assumption.
So we're both sitting pretty close. We'll see what happens here, because that wind's at my back.
And how far are you from the pin here?
Oh, about 20. Yeah, it just chained out. I didn't hit it center chain at all. And then look at that one, perfectly through the center, and it wedges through.
I mean, you even hit center mass.
I know. It just...
that's just
it's
disappointing.
Not my day.
So what did you end up with there? Was that a double bogey? Oh man, just another misfire.
Yeah, it was a double bogey. Yeah, this is, you know, you can fall apart on one hole pretty quick.
Absolutely. Well, in finishing up the front 9 here, both, you know, +3.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in to the front 9 of Eldon Lyon. Hope you guys like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the back 9.
All right. Don't forget to look for more Mace Life disc golf videos. Thank you.